Crazy for it to be the last of December going into January and water temp's still 65 out here on Travis. Dang it. They're thumping it as it's coming through the brush. Oh, that was a bite. There he is. Just dragging a big jig out here deep. Feels like a decent fish. Maybe not, he just got his mouth open. We'll just ski him in here since he doesn't want to turn his head. Not a bad first fish for the morning. About ready to take a dump on the boat. And he did it. Sucked a little football jig. He's spitting up pieces of crawfish is what that is. At least that's what he's pooping up anyway. Fancy with my jigs like some people. Give me basic. Give me green, brown, or black, and that's it. We'll sit up here in this little gut. There's a ton of brush. We'll throw out here and drag it back up the hill. Now, you guys haven't tried this new Team 6 rod from 6 Sense. These things are absolutely phenomenal. Unbelievably sensitive. It's a super light rod. I mean, I can feel everything on the bottom. I can feel every rock, every pebble, every piece of brush. You can tell the difference when you got gunk on the bottom versus sand versus, you know, mud. It's scary how much of a difference it makes having a good rod. You know, you're not going to feel every bite. I don't care how good a rod you get. You know, people always want it. People always want, I want to feel every bite. I promise you, you're not going to feel every bite. What you want to feel is you want to feel your bait. What is your bait doing? What is your bait crawling across? You know, when your bait stops doing what it's supposed to be doing, that's typically, you know, when you have a bite. Or there's something close by. You know, guys that throw spinner baits a lot, you get a good, you know, a good rod throwing spinner baits. You know, and you're buzzing that thing along, all of a sudden, you feel the thump from the blades, and all of a sudden the thump stops. That's typically a fish that's come up and opened its mouth and, you know, dumped a bunch of disturbance. It was pulling water and, you know, took off the disturbance off the bait, or off the blades. Same thing, it's no different throwing a jig. You know, I'm not necessarily trying, I mean, I would love to feel every bite. But what I'm trying to feel is, you know, what kind of bottom there going through rod. Fish that came off of there with. Get it over the top. Oh yeah, take them. So I mean, you know, you're not going to feel every single bite, but not doing too bad. It's about 2.5, somewhere right around there, 2.25. Not a giant one, but we'll take them all day long. Especially out here doing this. I love sitting out here dragging a jig. Well, that's fish number 2 off the same spot. I'm one of these guys that'll sit there and you can see he was sitting on the seam, that little rough patch right there. I don't know if y'all can see that. Here on the 360 again. As you can see it, I still got to work on settings on this thing. I've been having some issues, but you can see the ledge right here, and that fish ate it as it got to the top. There's a bunch of brush that sits down on the bottom. I got to reset all my settings on this. I'll show you this again, but there's a bunch of brush that sit on the bottom of this ledge down here. And that's what those fish sit in. They sit on that little seam. At least for me, they'll either be sitting right on top of it waiting for bait to come off, or with the way the current's blowing right now, the wind's blowing current right up onto this thing, so it's blowing a little bit of an eddy up on top of that, so it's pushing fish and, you know, shad and crawfish and stuff all up on top of that ledge. Oh. That was a big one. You can see what I'm doing. There's a point sticking out here, runs out toward the end. I'm kind of sitting in a little trough right here, and I'm throwing out into the deeper water, dragging it back up. We'll find out. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if we ain't got it, we ain't got it, and we can wait till Monday. There's nothing we can do. Even if it, let's say, even if it ordered today, it still wouldn't show up until like Tuesday. So we can wait another couple. Yeah, they're good. Fish ate it as soon as it got to the top of the ledge. I'll show you. Nope, that came out. I'll go back and get half of them. Show you exactly what I'm throwing. My jig box is pretty basic. You notice there's green pumpkin, green pumpkin, green pumpkin, a little bit of brown, a couple of black and blue, and green pumpkin. Those are just my confidence colors. Oh, that was awesome. we go. And that's what happens when you click the button and forget. You fish long enough, you get really good at pulling this out. This is awesome for your fluorocarbon, by the way. Moving on. This little chunk, swim jig. Over here by Jay's house. That Divine swim jig.